that snow band right now. The latest total I have from Orchard Park, 66 inches of snow. Okay, and most of that is in the last 24 hours. Now that snow band looks like it's drifting closer to downtown Buffalo and the north side, where they've only had a couple of inches, about a foot and a half or so around Buffalo. The south side's where we've seen multiple feet of snow. But a lot of folks wonder about this lake effect. You probably heard it if you haven't grown up in the Great Lakes. It is kind of an interesting phenomenon. It is crazy because the lake water right now in some cases is close to 50 degrees. In fact, the snow bands are starting as rain over the lake. The air temperature is in the mid-20s, so you got a huge difference in the air temperature from the water up into the air, and that creates instability. So these are like thunderstorms, but in this case, it's a line of snow that dumps heavy, heavy snow. So if you think about those lines of storms, sometimes we call it training in the summer where we see flash flooding. This is the winter equivalent, and you end up with just epic snowfall amounts. Sometimes it snows 3-4 inches of snow per hour. And if that band sits over you for any length of time, you just get deluged like you're seeing right now in Buffalo. We're seeing some snow, but it's the man-made type. Beach Mountain is really cranking it out. They're going to try to open next week. A lot of ski resorts already open this weekend. Cold and dry weekend, great snowmaking, slightly more mild. We'll call it that. I hate to call it warmer, but slightly mild, we'll call it. And then maybe rain for the holiday. That's a big question mark. Tomorrow, though, lots of sunshine, west wind, temperatures mid to upper 50s. A dry front comes through tomorrow, reinforces the cold air. Another one comes in on Sunday. So highs remain near 50, maybe 50, 55, morning lows back in the 20s. But you see these clouds starting to increase on Monday. Southern stream system eventually could bring us some rain on Tuesday. Looks dry Wednesday, but then Thursday into Friday, that's the time frame we're watching. We're going to see some type of storm somewhere in the southeast or the east coast. Just depends on where it sets up. Tuesday's little showers don't look like much, but late Wednesday into Thursday, low pressure is forming here. Northern branch of the jet stream is here. If these two systems get together, which it looks like they do at some point, and then move up the coast, become a pretty significant storm. But where does that, we call it phasing, when the two jet streams come together. Does it happen here, here, or up here? That's always the dilemma. There's two pieces of energy. Kind of how do they meet up and form maybe a potent storm on the East Coast after Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving Day? Right now, I'm thinking we're going to be close to 60, so pretty mild here. Late rain chances, but for the most part, we've been trending drier for Thanksgiving Day. The real issue could be the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, Black Friday, which typically was Black Friday, not so much anymore, but 57 on Friday with, again, a good 50% chance of showers. So traveling to your location for the holiday, probably not as big a deal as maybe coming back if you're traveling Friday or Saturday, because there's likely going to be some type of storm system on the East Coast. So stay tuned. That could be the problem. This weekend, though, no issues other than the cold. It is going to be a very mid-January type weekend with temperatures in the low 50s, morning lows in the 20s, a lot of 20s over the next 7 days. Well, let's go 10 days into the future. And you can see that nice bump in the temperatures Wednesday, Thursday, but then turning cooler for the following weekend. Home Panthers game right now looks sunny with temperatures back in the mid 50s.
Oh boy. All right. Thank you, Brad.